Okay, everybody, it's Sunday, and that means this is a new episode of Girl on Fire. So this week, I have a guest I'm excited about. Don't get me wrong, I've been excited about all my guests, every single one of you, but I'm excited to introduce yourself, Miss Rae.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, Lawson, no. For those of you who want to meet my cat, this is Lawson.
Yes.
I am Rae D. Magdon. I write queer sapphic fiction. I especially like science fiction and fantasy. My latest book, Lucky Seven, won the Rainbow Award for science fiction last year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What? And I've actually not read your book yet. I know.
You haven't read Lucky Seven? Well, if you're going to read one of my books, that's the one you should start with.
Why?
So, I know you've read my fan fiction.
Oh, God, I've read probably, I would say, and I didn't even know, I was going through I went back to fanfiction.net, and I was looking, I was like, oh, my God, she did Rosalian Isles. There was the 100. I was like, my God. I didn't know. I mean, you had expanded. I mean, you're known mostly for me and Tara Scott. We used to discuss your series, The Best Entertainment, all the time. She loves that series. She's the one that turned me on to it. And I was like, Aria. I was like, I don't know if I want to read fanfics that's kind of related to her, because a lot of the fanfic from Mass Effect is obviously Fem Shep and Aria. I mean, what is her name?
Liara.
Tassara.
I have a tattoo.
Liara Tassoni. What?
Yeah, I have Shepherd. Yeah, I have Shepherd on this arm, and I have Liara on this arm.
You're not a Mass Effect fan at all.
No.
Not at all.
Dragon Age all the way.
Oh my God. But yeah, so I mean, so most fanfic is geared towards those two. Every once you'll get Jack and Miranda. There's some Jack and Miranda fanfic. But you have kind of cornered the market between Aria and Counselor. Is it Tevos? Is that how you pronounce it?
They say it both ways. It's not consistent in the game.
I know. I noticed that. But
I say Tevos, but it's not consistent in the game, so you can't really be wrong.
I know, right? But yeah, I mean, so you have this big, long series. It's like, what is it, like 1,000 words or something like that?
Several books worth. I've been told by several readers that they've never played the game Mass Effect. If you haven't played that game, you should play that game because it's basically an alien dating simulator, and it's amazing.
Yes.
But I've been told
exactly what it is.
It is. It's alien dating simulator.
It is. That's the big draw. I mean, don't get me wrong. The action is great and everything, but the fact that you get to kind of mold a relationship throughout the series of games, that's a huge draw. I mean, because everybody was up in arms, when their Shepherd, if they got the bad ending, for Mass Effect 3, because it was a Shepherd you created in the first Mass Effect, and you were able to, input that same information for the second one and the third one.
That's why I like Dragon Age better. I mean, that's why I like Mass Effect better than Dragon Age, even though I also really like Dragon Age.
I do too, and I wish they had done that. Yeah,
you get the same protagonist. You get to play as the same person that you made for 3 whole games with many of the same characters, or at least continuing characters.
Yeah.
And that made my bond with those fictional characters all that much deeper because you get 3 whole games with a lot of them.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
why I like Mass Effect a little bit better than Dragon Age. But I am excited. Did you see the new trailer?
You know what? I had it
for Dragon Age 4
to watch on IGN, and then I got busy and I forgot to watch it. You just reminded me. I'm going to have to watch it today because I'm excited about that. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I am excited about that. Have you played Mass Effect Andromeda?
Yeah, I did.
What
I
did you think?
actually liked it. There were some issues with the rendering, but honestly, people were comparing it to Mass Effect 3 and all the emotional gut punches that game delivered. But the thing is, they should have been comparing it to Mass Effect 1 because they're
Yes,
developing a new character and a new world and new
yes,
companions. And so
yes,
if you compare it, if
exactly.
you go back and play Mass Effect 1 and then play Andromeda, Andromeda is actually a very solid start.
It
But
is.
people were expecting, I think, something like Mass Effect 3, which is really dark and emotional. And
And
the
you
thing is,
can't
you can't
have
get
that.
that unless you invest in the
Exactly.
beginning,
Thank
you know?
you. Thank you. And people panned it so much to the point where now the company is, put the whole series on hold. And I'm like, and I just recently restarted Mass Effect Andromeda. And I was like, with all the changes they made for graphics, and because the graphics were horrible the first time they came out, and I was like, "Whoa, I can't believe
Well,
that."
they fixed a lot of it. I
They
think they
did.
also tried to go for an unrealistic release date. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But it
I
is it's a
think
really good game.
it is a good game. People were too hard on it, I think. And I wish that we'd gotten more DLC content, and I wish that we'd gotten another game or two with the same companions, because I think their stories would have grown. I mean,
Yes,
that's the reason we love Mass Effect so much anyway, is because it has those 3 games to move through.
yes. I love that on was it Mass Effect 3 that had the DLC with Aria? They had that
Yeah,
big
yeah.
long mission. Oh my God, I remember that. It was so good. I love her. So I mean, but
Have you seen
yeah,
the
but
video?
huh?
Have you seen the video? The video where it compares on YouTube Arya kissing male shepherd if you go like all the evil choices, and Arya kissing female shepherd. It's so funny because the animation is completely different. She
Really?
kisses male shepherd and then makes a disgusted face and pushes him away like that was a bad mistake. With
Wow.
shepherd, she keeps hold of her arm and kind of smirks. And it's like, obviously, Arya has a preference there.
I didn't know that. I never played as a male shepherd before, so I wouldn't know. I mean, oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She'll
I'm
kiss you
gonna
both, but she kind of just pushes male Shep away on the chest and makes like a face. It's great. Whereas with female Shepherd, she's kind of like,
like, okay, interesting. Okay, well, see, I can see her doing that definitely. So, getting back to your fanfic,
yeah.
some of the okay, so you've done Mass Effect. You even have some Dragon Age stuff. You had some Rosalian Isles, the 100. Who am I missing?
Korra Sami, Legend of Korra,
Yeah, yeah.
the
I was
sequel
reading
to
some of yours
Avatar: The Last
yesterday,
Airbender.
just the other day. Yeah, yeah. What else?
Shira, the new Shira reboot is real good. And
It is. Don't you hate that it ended?
I know it was so fast, but
It,
I
you
do
know,
appreciate that it had a story with a set beginning and a set end.
yes, I do appreciate that. But you know what? As I rewatched the last season recently, and then I went back to watch the first season. I said, let me go back and maybe there's something I missed or or whatever. So I went back and watched it, and I was like, and I just watched the whole Catra, the evolution of Catra, being evil and all that stuff. And I remember when I watched the first season, I was like, oh my God, they're going to do the evil gay thing. And they kind of did that. They kind of did that, but she did have a redemption arc, which I was happy to see.
Yes,
But
it's
it
one of the
did bother me. And I was as I was watching the first season, I was like, that really pisses me off a little bit that they did the evil gay, she doesn't love me, so I'm turning evil thing. I mean, so that kind of bothered me. But if you compare the first couple of seasons to that last season, the redemption arc, well, I would say even at the end of the third season, Catra's redemption arc, it kind of starts at that point. So
that's when
it
she
was
hits bottom.
Yes, yes. And to me, when she does hit that bottom, that's when you know, okay, things are about to start changing at, at this point. So I'm kind of I'm glad they came out of that, but they totally redeemed themselves with the last, seasons 3 and 4, because I was just like, and it was just like, oh, I just didn't notice all this before, and I was reading another article about how writers of fiction and some movies are still stuck on the evil gay, and all that stuff. So I was kind of worried about that. So yeah, which is your favorite favorite fandom to write about?
Oh man, I can't. That's mean. You're gonna make me pick. Oh, I don't think I can pick. I'm not going to answer that question.
No, come on.
Okay. Well,
okay, what's your
right now I would say Catradora and Shira, because I've just started writing in that fandom like the past year and a half, so it's kind of fresh and new to me. And they just released back in May the last season, so it still feels fresh and new to me. But I recently rewatched all of Legend of Korra 2, and Korra's mental health journey, recovering from her trauma, was really validating for me as a person with mental illnesses. So I always appreciate a chance to write Korra, and also Asami, because she's very angry at her father. And
yes,
I too have feelings about being angry at my family sometimes. And so it's very therapeutic to like write about that. But also she eventually forgives her dad, and I eventually forgave my family of origin. So that's also very cathartic for me to write through. So I really like writing, aside from just the sexy bits, I really like writing Asami dealing with her anger. I find that really relatable.
She wasn't, to me, I liked her character a lot, because they could have made her kind of like the flailing girly sidekick, or whatever. And she was not.
Oh no, yeah.
She could kick ass just like everybody else. I mean, even though, she wasn't a bender, I mean, but she could, still kick some major butt. I mean, so I really like that about her,
She has
and
to
just
get in there and mix it up with like martial arts too. She can't just stay away and blast fire or whatever.
yes.
Like she has to get in real close to even firebenders and like kick their legs out.
She uses brawn as well as brains. So I mean, so that was like, oh, and
Korra's crew. Korra's crew has one brain cell, and Asami has custody of it most of the time.
And see, and I'm like, and I look at like the stuff that they put out for kids now, or they don't. I wish more cartoon related things like that would show a range of characters like those. You don't see that a lot, which is disappointing, which is why we have fanfic, So there you go. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Now, getting to your published work. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Look, you have, how many published books do you have?
Oh man, like 11.
And
I have so many.
And which is the one you said, like, if anything, if I were to start with anything, it would be Lucky 7? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
That is a cyberpunk novel about a crew of queer misfits from all over the world that are running virtual heists to take down an evil corporation.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Mass Effect in terms of gathering your crew with each with their own special skills. It's like Mass Effect in that way. Yeah. And then also I'd say it's a bit of Ocean's 11, because they're running a big heist, except it's a virtual heist against an evil corporate CEO. So, and there is a romance, obviously, and there's lots of sex.
Well,
in addition to the
it's you.
Fights.
I mean, yeah.
So the main characters are Elena Nevares, and she is Mexican, bisexual, and pretty femme. And she is the hacker. She plugs into the internet with her brain with a jack behind her ear. So she's the one doing most of the virtual stuff. And
that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, the leader of the crew is named Sasha Young.
Mm-hmm.
She is a Black gender non-conforming lesbian and a major top. She starts out kind of hard and stony on the outside, but then you find out she actually cares too much. And
she's
crew,
protecting herself.
Yeah, she sees her crew as her family. And they have a whole crew. There's Rock, who is an 8-foot tall cyborg man with biological modifications, like cybernetic implants. His little sister, Doc, who is 13 and a doctor. She's the field medic, and she's a genius. There's Cherry, who she's from Venezuela, and her expertise is explosives, also robots, but mostly blowing stuff up. And then there's Rami, who is a very interesting character. They are a gender fluid character. They generally use they, them pronouns, except when they're in disguise, in which case they disguise themselves as all kinds of things like men, women, and they're called the Cloak because they both online and offline disguise themselves as other people to sneak in places.
Wow.
And Cherry and Rami are also married. So
okay, I'm definitely interested.
It was cool to have a whole cast of queer characters like trans women, non-binary people, a masculine of center lesbian, a bisexual femme, just there's all these different queer characters.
Things we don't usually see in just your regular everyday lesfic. So yeah, I like that. I mean, I like and that's what I've heard about you, the inclusive nature of of your work. I mean, you don't see that every day. It's because I still believe that the default state in lesfic is unfortunately white. I mean, and it's been that way. It continues to be that way. Have things gotten a little better? Maybe. I've noticed, some lesbic authors, of color, gaining more prominence, who haven't, been as known before. And I remember reading a tweet, and I think it was from Ann Shade, and she was like, I had no idea who was out there. She didn't even know. I mean, as a person of color,
they're hard to find, and it's frustrating. I went to the Lesbian Review, and I went through all the characters because they have a tag for Black Leading Lady. And I went a few months ago, I went through and used the tag Black Leading Lady and looked up all the authors to see which ones were own voices. So if you go to the Lesbian Review, Sheena should have posted it. It's a whole list if you're looking for somewhere to start, as I was looking for somewhere to start, because it was not obvious to me. I go to that list, and there's a whole list of own voices, Black women writing Black women on the Lesbian Review. So that would be a great place to start.
I remember when she emailed me about that and told me she was going to do that. So I was just like, kudos to you. I mean, I'm all about, whenever I see anybody on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, and, put information about a new novel or something they're working on or something, I try, to retweet, or whatever, just to draw attention to it, because I just think that's what we should be doing for each other, for, just period. I mean, it's not pie. Don't get me, everybody has a chance to be in the spotlight. So if you're some super popular author and you have 20 million followers, it's not going to hurt you at all, to say, oh my God, I read this book, it was great. It's not mine, but you guys should read this. It doesn't hurt at all. We should be holding each other up, and for the first time in a long while, I feel like there's evidence of that happening. And that was just through the auction I held, and all the authors and, and everybody that kind of came out and was so supportive. I mean, to me, the fact that that everybody was able to come together, bisexual, lesbian, whoever. It was quite a mishmash of people, that came together. It kind of, it made me kind of, I feel like I have some faith in our community, a little bit more faith in our community than I did before. So, which is a good thing, So yeah. So I think we have the possibility to move forward with a lot of things. So with you talking about sci-fi and fantasy and everything, and I remember in your DMs you were talking about how you were already had this idea for creating this new world. How do you? I'm in awe of writers who are able to do that. To just create like from scratch this whole different look of things, this whole different just lifestyle, or this whole different world. How do you do that? I mean, is it just something you dream up and it's just like, oh.
Sorry, my cat Indiana Jones, who is 20-something pounds, decided it's cuddle time. He wanted my chicken and I said no, so he's like, okay, I'll sit on your lap instead, Mom. But about world building, yeah, I'm still learning how to do it, to be honest. To get good at it, you really have to read. Mm-hmm. I think an author who recently got me to step up my game is Kay Arsenault Rivera. She's, I think she's Peruvian, but I could be wrong. But she wrote a multicultural Asian-inspired novel called The Tiger's Daughter. And the world building was just absolutely phenomenal, impeccably researched, and stunning. And the two main characters are lesbians in love, and they are goddesses.
Wow.
One is the sun and one is the moon. And the three stories in the Ascendant trilogy, starting with, again, The Tiger's Daughter by Kay Arsenault Rivera, are about these goddesses growing into their power as a couple. And it's really an incredible series. It deals with like PTSD. It deals with family trauma. It deals with love. It deals with body horror a little bit, but not too much. It's a really great series.
Wow.
And
okay.
so that kind of inspired me that I wanted to come up with my own pantheon of gods and goddesses. So that's what I'm working on now. And I just, to make the one I'm currently working on, I just thought about, well, what are things that people interact with every day, especially in a fantasy setting? And then if they interact with it every day, there's probably a god of it. So the sea,
that is true.
I mean, probably a god of that, because the people who live on the sea are going to interact with that every day. The weather, there's probably a god of that, or more than one god of that, because people interact with that every day.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they got a little more weird besides just, weather. I had a god of sleep because I thought that was really interesting, because that's something people do every day. But the god's name is Of Blessed Dreams.
Oh, okay.
And the gods that I have in this pantheon right now they have names like Of the Land, Of the Sea, Of the Sky, Of Blessed Dreams. And then the god of death, of course, is Of Eternal Sleep. So.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Now you're also working on Lucky 8, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So that one is coming out before the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
Really?
It's done. It's with my editor for their last round of edits.
Okay.
So Lucky 8 is about Elena and Sasha again. The crew from Lucky 7, everyone comes back for Lucky 8. But this time, I'm trying to think of how to describe it without spoiling it or spoiling Lucky 7.
Yes, don't
Let's just say they find an underground community who is trying to live apart from the corpse, and they have different ideas about whether it's safe to stay and what they should do. And it was really cool because I got to research a lot of sci-fi stuff about arcologies. And arcologies are self-sustaining small communities. That's what it is. So
Okay.
I got to invent, how does this arcology get power? How do they produce food? How do they do their schooling if it's a small enclosed community that's entirely self-sustaining?
Mm-hmm.
So I basically had to design a whole city that is supporting itself without any connection to the outside world.
Wow.
And that was kind of tricky.
So you have to do a lot of research?
So yes, you have to do a lot of research, but what I do is I just read lots of cool news articles about new
Mm-hmm.
scientific discoveries being made, and I
Mm-hmm.
bookmark them.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's really cool, I'll add it into something.
Okay.
Like I have a space opera series that's kind of based on Mass Effect.
Uh-huh.
And the two out right now are Dark Horizons and Starless Nights.
Yes, I've
And
heard of
then,
those. Yes.
yeah, and then the third one is coming out October 1st of this year. It's called Eclipse. It's the third one in the series.
Ooh.
And for that one, the way that I designed spaceships, they're like spheres. They're just little circles.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they have a gyroscope inside and can go in any three-dimensional direction. And that just came from me reading an article about what a spaceship would realistically look like in the future. So
Wow, okay.
I just read lots of science articles on geeky websites, and if there's something cool in it, like what a spaceship would look like to work well, I just bookmark it, and then I throw it in as a weird detail.
Okay, pretty cool. Excellent. So I can't, I saw something on Yahoo the other day, and it was like, and I have no idea. They were talking. There was a group of Black women who rode their motorcycles to Washington, for the anniversary of the
saw
March on
that.
Washington, and I was like, I had no idea if they were gay. I had no idea, but they just had the look. I mean, and I was like,
Oh yeah, I
Black
mean
butchers on
they had the
bikes,
vibe.
and I was just like, I love that, and it's just been nagging me in the back of my head ever since. And I was like,
That needs to be the protagonist of your next book or something, or a character.
it's like sitting there and
Take my money.
Yes, I know, right? And I'm just like, oh, maybe there could be a premise for, a novella or, something. It
I would
helps.
read the
It
shit out of
makes,
that. Are you kidding?
huh?
I would read the shit out of that. Are you kidding?
Me too, right? So, and I would be the one, right? But I'm just like, oh my God. And so it helps me realize, for me to get an idea why I'm having, falling in love with these new characters I'm creating, and that I'm getting other ideas. It makes me feel like that mojo is coming back. Because after my mom died, or even before that, I mean, when she first went in the hospital, it was just like nothing. The creative juices were gone, which was, I mean, grief, affects everybody differently. So
Well, you should never feel bad, because when you're farming, when farmers farm, they sometimes rest a certain portion of their field so the nutrients can build back up. And so when you can't write, I always tell people who are like, I can't write, I haven't written in the past few months. I say, well, maybe your field is just resting. And then when you try to grow something again, now you'll have all these new nutrients to grow it with. So that's what I tell myself when I feel bad.
And I haven't felt
producing.
bad. I've just missed it in a way. And I know she would have liked, even though she never read any of my books, but bless her heart, I know she wasn't going to. She was still supportive of me, and everything. So, and I know, she wouldn't, she will, want me to continue to try. So knowing that has helped me as well. So yeah, I'm tinkering away. We'll see how things go as I get further along with it. But my God, how long does it take you to write one book?
It depends. I have been taking longer and longer with each book as I get better. Because I'm doing more world building and more complicated plots and characters. So each book used to be taking longer than the last. It used to be like 2 a year, and now it's like Lucky 7 came out in 2018, and I'm only just in October 1st releasing my next one. So,
yeah.
But I'm back on the train. I'm hoping to have 2 out by the end of the year. Lucky 8 for the cyberpunk fans, and for the space opera fans, Eclipse, which is about aliens and a human punching alien fascists in the face.
Oh, we definitely need that right now.
Yeah.
Definitely need that.
Trying to defeat the disease. I came up with this plot before all this shit happened. I'm putting it out there. This was outlined and drafted and written before everything that happened in 2020.
I believe you. I know how long to publish. Now, do you self-publish or do you?
It's a good thing it's relevant, right? I'm just
yes, it is. I mean, because as I'm working on the new book, I'm like, there's no COVID anywhere. But I mean, I'm just like, okay, it's escapism. I can't. I'm not ready to write about it. Maybe the next book I'll write something, to that effect. But do you self-publish or do you go through a publisher?
I go through a publisher, Desert Palm Press.
Okay.
They're a very nice publishing company because their editors are very talented and supportive, but they basically let me do what I want.
Oh, so that's even
when
better.
I went to my publisher, who's in charge of Desert Palm Press, I'm like, well, I'm doing a trans character as the main character of my book Tengoku, or yeah, I'm doing a masculine of center lesbian as one of the protagonists of Lucky 7, and she's like, sure, go ahead. Or I'm doing a non-binary character for my vampire werewolf romance novel, Fur and Fangs. And Lee's just like, whatever, I think it's great. So
I love that. I mean, I had that with Ilva, and when I, moved over to Dirt World Books, it's the same thing. I was like, oh, whatever. Just, whatever you want to write. I mean, as I started on this one, and as you know, I was looking for people to help me because, I decided, one of my characters, or rather they decided that they were going to be gender fluid. I mean, so I was just like, and the more I thought about it and the more they talked to me, and I was just like, okay, okay, that's what you want. That's who you are. That's what's going to fit. And that's totally new for me. So, as I'm writing it, I want to do it right. So the person you hook me up with has been very helpful thus far.
Excellent.
So.
I'm so happy.
Yes.
It's so important to have own voices resources for marginalized communities that you're not part of. Yes. And also, whenever I hire sensitivity readers, I always try to pay them like whatever I can, because I want them to know that their experience has monetary value.
Yes, I agree. I agree totally on that. I mean, I do sensitivity reading myself. I probably don't charge as much as some people do, but I'm just like, it's just a standard, flat rate fee for, whatever, but yeah, I mean, so writing is writing, as they say. I mean, I hope both of us are able to, stay on that boat for quite a while, so to speak. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Now, on to everybody. If you remember, this week's sauce is Rectal rocket fuel. Yeah, I'm a purist. So I'm going to taste it without anything. Rae is being a chicken, and she's putting it on chicken. Her husband actually made her some wings.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I got my little shot glass. I'm going to put it in, so and we'll see from there.
You're going all in.
We are. And it's a jerk hot sauce. So that means it has habaneros, it has scotch bonnets, this one has balsamic vinegar, lime juice, sage, thyme, garlic, paprika, allspice, cumin, fennel, and lemon pepper, coriander, salt. So it has a good combination of spices and stuff in it. So I'm hoping it's gonna taste good. I'm really looking forward to it, because if it is, this is probably one I'm really gonna use a lot. So
yeah, I'm ready.
Shake it up. Let me shake it up. Okay. Okay, let me smell it.
Tori is watching me off screen.
Is he?
You're filming? You asshole.
Is he filming you for real?
Yes. You can. I'm already being filmed anyway. All right, are we trying this?
Okay. It's a kind of a medium thick sauce. It's got a few little chunks in there, probably some chunks of garlic, I think. It's got nice smell. It's not overpowering with vinegar or anything. It smells nice. Okay. All right.
So. Let's
Bottoms
do it.
up.
This is good.
That is good.
Definitely a little hot, but not that hot. It's good.
It's got really good flavor to it. It's got
yeah, I feel like it's not just one flavor. I feel like it has multiple flavors in it.
It's nice and warm. The heat doesn't hit you in the face at all. You can taste the lime in it. You can definitely take the citrus in it. You can taste the garlic. You can taste that little tang of balsamic in it as well.
Yeah, it has a tiny bit of that balsamic sweetness.
Yeah, this is a good sauce, everybody.
Yeah, I would put this on quesadillas.
Yes, this would be yes. I might have to use this on my dinner tonight. This is really good.
Yeah.
I highly recommend this, guys. I think this is the first sauce that I'm gonna give like a 9 for flavor, and for heat, 6.5 maybe.
Yeah, it's
not very hot.
I mean, it's hot enough that if you don't like spicy stuff, you won't like it.
Yeah, you won't. If you but if you're just looking for something that's just a little warm, that's not overpowering, this will be perfect. This will be perfect. So I don't know why it's called rectal rocket fuel. It's just.
I guess we'll find out in 24 to 48 hours.
I guess especially with you eating chicken with it, so. But I always take some antacid before I do a hot sauce. Did he taste any?
Tori, did you taste any?
I did.
What'd you think? Ow, he says. He's a wimp. Don't listen to him.
Oh, okay. Everybody, next week, my guest is going to be Jax Meyer. And and we're actually going to try a hot sauce just made in her home state. We like last week or the week before, we were looking up like hot sauces in the state of Colorado. So she was able to find a few. So but I don't know which one she's gonna pick. So, but I have several that came in the mail. So obviously it's going to be one of those, but they all look really good. It's from a company called Cooper Small Batch. And it sounds, just the combination of flavors and spices and everything sounds really good. So I'm excited about it.
Cool.
So yeah, she'll be my guest next week. And after that, I do believe I have Lola Keeley, and then I have Serena Bishop is coming back. So yeah,
I got a nice people.
Huh?
You're getting all the cool people.
Well, yeah, I'm trying. I enjoy doing this little thing. So, all right. Thank you for joining me, Rae. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been fun. I am gonna get Lucky 7. You need audiobooks. Do you have audiobooks?
Well, Dark Horizons is coming out in audiobook in a few weeks. So
really?
I'm looking forward to that. I narrated it. So
really?
We'll see how that goes.
Okay. But see, you have so many books, and you have a huge fan base. Audiobooks is a whole nother outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, it really and truly is. So yeah, but I look forward to reading Lucky 7 and I'm going to read Lucky 7 before Lucky 8 comes out. I'm going to try my best to do it. And then I want to read the space opera one. So I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited about that. I don't know when I'm going to read them considering I'm writing. And I usually don't read when I write, but I'm gonna find some way. I also have some werewolf books from Kate Hirschberger that I need to read as well. So I don't know how I'm gonna find time to read all these things, but I'm kind of excited because they're totally out of genre for what I usually write. So I think I'm gonna be okay with reading them. I don't see me, you know, sucking in, you know, stuff about werewolves and somehow getting into my romance novel. But anyway, okay. Happy Sunday, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this week's edition on Girl on Fire.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
It was, really. Bye, everybody.
I'm going to eat the rest of those wings now.